are now listening to the Queen's Table with Jai Indigo. Yeah. Selling royalty on hyperadio.com.
Hey, welcome everybody. It is the Queen's Table. It's your girl, Jaja. Definitely want to welcome you to another week, another episode of the show. I want to make sure that you all pull up a seat so you can get some tea of what's going up underground. Now tonight, I have a really special show. I have some activists in the building tonight. So we actually going to get it in. We're going to take the opportunity to learn a little bit more about this activist movement. And you'll be surprised at the information that you're going to learn about tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. But first, let me welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you, man. It's good to be here. We had a little, a bump in the road coming up here, man. The police pulled us over. They actually had me cuffed up. I was on my way out of here, man. But, by the grace of God, they let me go. So,
yes,
we here.
Yes, I'm so thankful. So very thankful. Which is so crazy. I'm like, goodness gracious. You coming into Sacramento, I'm thinking you're going to be on Greenback. This brother said he coming right in through the causeway, and they came for you.
And what's crazy is we literally on the freeway, and we got pulled over by a sheriff.
Wow.
And from my understanding, that's the CHP jurisdiction.
Right. So they let you go, thank God. Was that mouthpiece, or was that was really the grace of God?
Man, it was all grace, man.
Wow, I'm glad. Look, he
grace.
over there laughing like, man, I know y'all sweating bullets up in there.
Man, I knew I was out of here. I just knew I was out of here. But either way, it was something minor, so it wouldn't have been no big deal. But it definitely would have. This interview wasn't gonna happen though.
Yeah, but see, God has other plans for you, and that was just a sign right there.
And he sure wanted to know where we was on our way to, because he see fam shirts and stuff. Where is y'all going?
Right. Yeah, well, we finna go ahead and get right into it. So, I want to go ahead and let you guys kind of know the overview of where we're going with this. If you do not know, yes, we are here in Sacramento, but we are going to be talking about what's going on in the Bay Area, Vallejo, particularly what's going on. Vallejo PD over the last decade has shot 32 people, 18 whom were killed. And as of May of 2019, the capita rate of police shootings in Northern California in Vallejo has been the highest. In case you didn't know that, now you know. We've had several different people come on to the show. We had the councilman, Hakeem Brown. We've had different people of the council come on as well. And now we have an activist. We have an activist group on that's going to be giving their perspective, because they're hands-on. They're in the trenches. They're the ones that are really putting in the work. And we're going to go ahead and get their insight on what's going on.
Yes.
All right. So I have with me General. I'm going to say General.
Yeah.
General Rob Reason.
What's up with it?
Yes, and then he has brought with him one the group leaders.
Yeah, this is the president right here.
Okay.
This is Chris.
Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Chris Kelly.
Thank you, Chris Kelly.
Yeah, so I want to go ahead and just break down exactly. I keep saying FAM. What is FAM? What does that stand for?
It stands for Frontline Activist Movement, but it is what it is too. We all FAM, so it stands for both. It's the acronym for Frontline Activist Movement, but at the same time we a FAM, so it's FAM too.
Okay, right on. Now, who are the founders of FAM?
It's a long story but that I gotta tell real quick.
Yes.
I think this movement already was founded a long time ago, back with Mario Romero family. They kind of brought the attention, after back when the first people was getting killed by police.
Mm-hmm.
It was no real issues or no, it really wasn't being addressed in protests or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Mario Romero family, they was kind of the first ones that led that charge.
Yes.
And got putting the story out there and going state to state, connecting with other families and stuff like that. And the family's been going out there, but when I got, unfortunately, I was a part of the family because my cousin Eric Reason was killed back in November.
Yes, rest in peace to both of them. I know them both very well, yeah.
And so that's when I got into it, and I just kind of put the Frontline Activist Movement name to it, and tried to help us get a little more organized and try to capture on the momentum of the George Floyd and all the stuff going on right now.
Right. Okay, that definitely makes sense. Now, what type of social problems do you guys address? Is it broad, or is it just very specific on what you're focusing on?
Yeah, so the social issues that we address, we were all brought into this because, can you guys even hear me with this on? I'm sorry.
I know it's so hard.
Is it coming through? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my name is Chris Kelly, and my brother Mario Romero was murdered by the Vallejo Police Department in 2012. This was a shock to my family, the way that he was murdered, the brutalness of it, and just it was very horrific. And what we learned after he was killed was that there were other families who had loved ones who were killed in the same way with their hands up, and their cries had fallen on deaf ears.
Right.
So when we went to City Hall thinking that we were a family that was impacted by this injustice, we were faced with other families who had suffered the same injustice, but maybe their loved one didn't know as many people.
Right.
My family, we grew up in North Vallejo and South Vallejo, so we know a lot of people.
Right.
And so this was the first large amount of protests for my brother's death. But what we found out was that there were people who had been murdered and their families had been there crying and trying to get some justice and bring some attention to what was happening, and nobody listened to it.
Yeah.
And so at that time, we knew we didn't have a choice but to stand up and to fight, and because of that, we were subjected to, a lot of horrible things, in addition to our, my brother being murdered, but I don't want to get emotional about it, but it's been a long road, and it's a lot of tears, and it's a lot of pain, and it's a lot of loss. We've lost generations. We've lost generations. They got ancestors and no descendants. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically we address a lot of different things. Like we'll do things in the community and try to help other members of fam in any way that we can.
Right.
But it's not just limited to that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so being that Rob, came up with the name FAM, and some of the other family members, they came up with this idea. This was a more organized way, although we always know that we show up when something go on.
Right.
So we didn't have to have the call. The families, all the families, we would show up.
Right.
But sometimes you be out there somewhere and it's, just a few people out there, but you're still fighting. And we have carried this torch. So we've been in this for 8 years. It's been a long 8 years.
Yeah.
But, the time has come. You know what I mean? The time has come, and we're seeing change.
Yes.
Yes.
That's good. Well, first of all, my condolences to you. I haven't met you, but I do know Papaya. We actually have some relations.
Yeah.
So my heart really aches for you. I feel it, like I'm chillingly feeling what you guys experience. Of course, Eric, I've known him. We grew up together. That's why I said this is it's real deep, and I'm so proud that you guys took a stand, for all of the people that's, been slain, the brutality. I'm glad you guys took a stand, and I'm behind y'all 100%. Now, as far as you're welcome, as far as the strategy and your purpose, can we speak to that and let the people know exactly, what's the strategy you guys are taking with this?
So presently, our strategy is to refocus on measures to compel the Solano County District Attorney to reopen these cases that never stood a fair chance at being looked at appropriately. Because we have officers who murder people, who have stolen evidence and concealed bodies and stolen, they even stole my brother's organs. They stole his organs, so we never got to bury him with them. And they stole them because they tried to say that he was on methamphetamines, which he's never done methamphetamines. He was not a drug user or anything like that. So they did the first autopsy. They stole his organs. So when the second autopsy would be done, if he was on drugs, then the organs would have had to process it, metabolize it.
Yeah.
So they stole them. So we buried them without them. But we've never got an explanation as to where they went either.
It
So,
gets deep. It gets deep.
They-
so how can you look at something appropriately and righteously when it's doomed from the start?
Yeah.
The evidence is messed with from the start. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
we want the Solano County District Attorney to relook at all of the cases of officer-involved shootings, because the rate that they have happened at and the just pure disregard for the law that these officers have shown, I believe that shows that this is warranted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And well
Definitely.
beyond due.
Right.
Right. Is there anything that you'd like to add?
She pretty much hit it on the head, but I would just like to add that we exposing the fake and what's real and what's fake in the city of Vallejo, straight up, period. It's all about what's right. You know what I'm saying? We ain't about what color you are or none of that. You know what I'm saying? We just fighting for what's right, and we just trying to unite the city and bring a family, unity energy back to Vallejo. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's where we from. That's
right. You know what I'm saying?
All of our family is
That
connected
part.
in one way, and we know that.
That
As you
part.
see right here, right now, this is how Vallejo is.
Right.
So bringing that back.
It was a point where a police would think twice about what they go do because they know, you know, that families are strong in Vallejo. They know that the city is sticking together and the community is not gonna go for it. And I think that the city of Vallejo over the years, you know, it's kind of lost that feeling.
Yeah.
And we just trying to kind of get that family feeling back to where the community is looking out for each other and, you know, and letting the police know that we policing them too.
There we go.
And if I may say one more thing also too, so we protested, like my family, we protested for 8 years. And what we found out, there was a direct correlation between when we stopped protesting and additional officer-involved shootings. So literally, when we're out here protesting, we're fighting for our lives. We're protesting for our lives. It's keeping, you know, the knowledge that officers in Vallejo are killing, you know, unarmed and people who, you know, who don't deserve to die. You know what I mean? So as long as we keep protesting, that lets them know, hey, we have not forgot.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're not going to just let this go.
Right.
So some people don't understand it. They're like, why are you guys still there all these years later? Because my brother is not coming back.
Right.
And every Christmas and every birthday and every holiday, you know, he's missing. And justice is missing. Yeah. And that's like killing him over again, you know, over and over again. So
yeah, I totally understand. Now, do you mind me asking at this point, I know for Eric, and we're going to talk about Eric's situation, but for Mario, I know that it was Officer McMahon. What's how you say his name?
Officer Sean Kinney, who killed 3 people, including my brother, within 5 months, and Dustin Joseph.
Okay, so those 2 have not been brought to justice. I know for sure.
Sean Kinney is actually he's training police officers right now.
Wow. Ain't that some shit? That's crazy. See, this is why we need groups like this, and this is why we have to bring this to the surface, to the forefront, so y'all can really feel and understand and get involved in this.
Yeah,
now,
get informed.
Yes. Now, as far as supporters right now, is there any supporters that you're working with? Because this is across the Bay. Vallejo isn't standalone. We are connected all throughout the Bay. Are you any supporters, any notable supporters that you have right now?
Well, we still fairly new. I mean, like some of the families that have been dealing with this, like Mario's family, they've been going for a while, so they kind of, you know, met a lot of different people and stuff like that. But as far as us as working together and collectively, we're still fairly new.
Yeah.
So a lot of different organizations and a lot of people been reaching out to us.
Awesome.
I don't really want to speak on who that is right now, but I will say that it's some very good organizations that I think is going to be real beneficial and help us get to the next level. And you know, and locally in Vallejo, I will say that we have worked with Vessels of Vallejo, and yeah, that's about it. Vessels of Vallejo, I got to give them props because you know, that's another Vallejo grassroots organization that we running with, and Louis Michael, young guy, only about 24 years old, who founded Vessels of Vallejo. He's running for city council right now.
Oh,
dope. Young black man, 22, 24, something about he around my son age.
Yeah.
So you know that's big, and we pushing for him.
Oh, that's amazing. There's some fresh new thoughts and energy up in there, so that's awesome to hear. Now, I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Breonna Taylor's family had came out and connected with you guys. Is that true, or is that a misread?
I think that they were here. They were in Oakland. They connected with an organization. We actually supported an organization that did a cruise for justice. They came from San Francisco to Oakland, linking up with a lot of the other impacted families, and they ended in Vallejo.
Oh, okay.
So we just kind of supported them and made sure when they got there, we held them down and stuff like that. And Breonna Taylor's family was a part of that actual caravan, but I don't know if they actually made it to Vallejo or whatever because, you know, traffic and the day stretched on kind of long, but they were involved in that in that protest. So if they were there, I don't remember meeting them, but they were involved in that. Though.
Okay. Now, as far as fam, for anyone that may be interested in volunteering or supporting, is this volunteer work, or how does someone get involved in this movement?
Right now, you just reach out to us. You know what I mean? You hit us up, FAM, first, which is f.a.m.1st020 If you're interested, the first thing we want to do is have you email us your contact information and stuff like that. And we need help, we need support, we need all the volunteer help that we could get, and we are, looking to kind of get more organized to where we can have, our volunteers, more involved, and we can keep them more on point and prepared when we need them. You know what I'm saying? So right now, you could just follow up with us on Facebook, or hit us up in the Gmail, send us an email, let us know you're interested, give us your contact information, any way to reach you, and we'll be following up with you to give you, details on how to get involved.
And if I could just say one thing really quickly, also too, for the people that do wish to volunteer and, show us support, please don't be discouraged right now if things are not moving fast and you're not seeing a lot of events. There's so many things going on as far as the coronavirus, the air quality, and various things like that. So it's not really responsible for us to gather a bunch of people and, keep creating events and stuff at this moment, because we really don't know what's what. And when we plan something, we want to make sure that it's able to go through and not have to be canceled. So please reach out. Know that we welcome your support. We're thankful for it. And just, it's taking a little bit of time, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Right. I want to ask, is any special skills, if any, that's needed to be a part of the movement? Is there any, particular areas that you're looking for someone to specialize in?
I say all skills are welcome. You know what I'm saying? Whatever skills that you got, you see how we moving. If you follow us, I think that you can kind of see where you can help us out. We need help all the way around the board, all the way from graphics, web, social, media stuff. We just started a podcast ourselves.
Awesome.
Just to kind of help us keep the information out there, because like she said, with Corona and stuff and the winter coming, most of our events was outside, so we had to find a way to continue to keep our information out there and keep, in the people's face and stuff like that. So
that's good.
We need help, just all the way around the board, and just to have people on deck, the more skills, the merrier. I bring what I bring to the table. Chris, as a president, she bring her skills to the table. Everybody bring a different set of skills to the table, and we just connect it like Voltron, and try to make it as effective as we can make it be.
Absolutely. Now, I have the people, and I want to thank the viewers that we have tuned in on Facebook Live. I thank you so much. I see your questions rolling up. I got my glasses on today so I can see actually what you're saying. I see some people looking like, yep. So I see some asking, what's your IG? They want to know the IG.
The IG, the FAM IG is actually Frontline Activist Movement. Spelled just like that, Frontline Activist Movement at IG. I don't know if that's what they wanted.
Yeah, I think that's what they wanted. They said, hey, what's the IG? So I want to also thank our listeners online at hype-radio.com for tuning in. You are tuned in to the Queens Table. It's your girl, Jaja.
The Queen, Jaja.
Yes. And we have Frontline Activist Movement in the building.
Fam business.
Yes, we have Rob Reason, it's the general. And we have the president, El Presidente. Chris. And they are giving us the 411 on what they have going on in Vallejo. So we're going to go ahead and just dig into it, but I want to give those the opportunity to be able to, if you want to support, you like what's going on, I want to just take that moment so you guys can already have the information. I know it's getting later and later. It's a Thursday, so that's why I wanted to take that moment to already put that out there.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yes. So as far as organizations or individuals that you interact with within the community, per se, the police department, city council, schools, or churches, who are you working with, if there's any in particular? And I can call out some just to throw them out there. And what's your feelings and thoughts on them? I'll just go ahead and start with Hakeem Brown. We had Hakeem Brown on the show or last year sometime. And I gave him, I gave him the business when he was here. Because this was, yes.
I believe
this was during, I was very adamant because at this time it was Willie Bo.
Right.
And so just trying to find out what's his perspective and what he's doing and how active he was at that time.
Right.
So yes, I did. I went on and on. And for those of you who may not know, my uncle Foster Hicks, very a staple in Vallejo, California. So he always in my head with stuff and just making sure that I'm to the point and I you get the facts. So trust and believe I was on him, and I would love to have you back. But anyway, Hakeem Brown, what's your feelings and thoughts on him? And is he working with you guys in this movement?
No.
Hakeem
Brown, let me start, please. First of all, I hate to sound like I'm attacking another black man or slandering him or whatever, because as a man, I respect the man. He did some good things for Eric, after his passing and stuff like that. I've been in the crest and seen him volunteer in little bike giveaways and stuff like that. But getting into this movement, you get informed, you learn a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And after being in this fighting so hard for people that been wrongfully killed and disrespected, no type of apologies, all this pain and stuff we go through, and then to see somebody shaking hands with the police, being endorsed by the police and commending them on the good job that they doing, how on serving and protecting the community, when everybody know the VPD ain't serving and protecting nothing but they bag. You know what I'm saying? They bending badges and stuff like that, and just as FAM, we going so hard against that it's just no way possible or make no type of sense for us to support somebody that's endorsed by the police.
Right.
If I was running for mayor, I'm not looking for the endorsement. I don't want to be affiliated with none of the corruption that's going on with the VPD.
Right.
Period. So, and with that being said, I gave him the opportunity to come speak with us and answer some of our questions.
Yeah.
Just so he could kind of explain himself and give us, a better explanation, if there is one, on why he did some things or whatever, and he declined our interview. Now,
with no reason behind that.
He don't want to face our questions. That's what I believe. But basically, he feel like it's unnecessary to do an interview with us. His action speaks louder than words.
Well, okay. Is there anything you'd like to add there?
Yeah, I'd like to say that I believe that Hakeem Brown is doing a real disservice to the community that he claims to love and support. I think that the fact of the matter is that for the people who are not really watching the race, for mayor and understanding how the voting and things are going at city council for years, they don't really understand that, hey, this person who claims to have so much love for this city, for the people in his city, is being supported by people who are killing your loved ones in the city. And Hakeem, he doesn't want to meet with us, not because he has a problem with us, but because he does not want to answer the direct questions. Because in no way, form, or fashion have we ever been where we were going to be unfair or just jump on him or treat him badly. That has never been the case. So he has no reason to avoid us or treat us like we're going to do, a disservice to him. When in reality, the fact is, he does not want the people of Vallejo, and especially the people in, the Country Club Crest, to know that he is endorsed by the Vallejo Police Officers Association. And that's just a fact. So as soon as somebody says it, if they're not a person of color, it seems like he's attacking them and shutting them down based upon that. But the people need to know there is an inherent conflict of interest as far as him supporting the people in the community and running for mayor and being endorsed by the Vallejo Police Officers Association, period. And that's just facts.
And naturally, I want to support the brother. Let me just put that out there. But for me to just vote for somebody or support somebody just on face value, I would be a hypocrite and I'd be a contradictory to what FAM stand for. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we on the side of what's right, of what we believe in, and as a team, we standing strong on what we believe in. So we can't contradict ourselves in no way, shape, or fashion with that.
Absolutely.
And Hakeem, the door is always open.
Absolutely.
Still.
And I definitely, send an invitation to Hakeem Brown. I know that he tunes into the show as well. So I would hope that, he does, speak with you guys. I've actually asked him that question. And he told me no. My station manager, he knows I actually asked him that question, and he told me that no, he was funded, everything was from his dispensary, and that he basically funded himself. Now, the people are asking, so I would ask that you speak with the people, the community, and let them know, because they're still questioning that.
Clear it up.
So, you guys definitely have a good point, and I think he should definitely come to the table with you guys and work with you guys. Yes, action do speak louder than words, but if the people, and I've been hearing, you aren't the first, people I've heard that from. I've heard it a lot, and so I know, Hakeem, you have to hear it as well. So I would just, appreciate if you would take the opportunity to meet with the people.
We all will.
Address the real ones.
Yeah. So, How about Vallejo's chief of police? At the time, I remember when he was coming into office, and during that sit down, I was asking Hakeem how he felt about the chief of police, and he wanted to give him. He thought he was great, and wanted to give him an opportunity to give him an opportunity to make some changes. Is he working with you guys in this movement?
We ain't working with no police.
Okay.
Now I will say this though, and I don't want to give him no credit because I feel like him and them going through with the firing of McMahon, they was kind of pushed into a corner, and they had to do that.
And we're talking about Chief of Police's name is
Shawnee Williams. Right.
Yes.
But until they really show us some real, like they really want to do something, that they really sincerely is trying to do something to change.
Right.
Then we just can't come to the table when we're not interested.
Okay, fair enough. Now, again, I want to thank the viewers. I see the numbers, they're going up and down. I actually see a lot of questions that are coming up. One question I'm going to go ahead and take from one of the viewers. They asked, who would you pick for Vallejo mayor?
I personally would pick Robert McConnell, because when my brother was murdered in 2012 and the years following that, he is the only council member that voted to have Vallejo police officers drug tested.
Oh, yeah.
And you would think, if a pilot who's, has hundreds of people on a plane and they have to be drug tested.
Right.
Officer, he has probably enough bullets to kill all the people on the plane.
Right.
He should be drug tested too,
right.
in the event of a shooting, period.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I'm leaning towards McConnell. McConnell, I will say that I had questions about McConnell too. I haven't always followed city council. I actually gave up on Vallejo. I stayed up in SAC for about from 2002 to like 2015, 16. So I kind of tapped out. So me coming back in, I'm trying to get to learn what's going on with people. And I had questions about him too. He's been in there for a long time. And I'm just not, like I said, I naturally want to support the brother.
Right.
So I had to, address some things with the man, and he came to the table.
Oh, okay.
And repeatedly came to the table.
Okay.
And I got to ask him whatever I wanted to ask him. I felt like he answered me honestly, and I also was able to tell him face to face that, if I do support you and endorse you, or you get my vote, based on this conversation that we have, if you don't follow through, I'm going to be right back up in here holding you accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I feel comfortable if I could have a conversation with somebody like that, then, that's who I feel like I should be supporting.
Have a conversation, right?
Right, exactly. Thank you guys both. So as far as educating the public about the issues, resolutions, strategies, and things of that nature, do you have any platforms? I think you touched on it, that you guys just started a podcast.
Right.
Any other meetings, any other way that you guys maybe are coming together to include the people?
Yeah, I think we've been doing a good job at getting the people together. I always say this, for me, the biggest thing is like, when I'm out there, I got old 70 and 80-year-old white women that'll come up, see me, and, hey, Rob, and come sit down next to me, have a talk, see one of their friends coming in, oh, hey, Gretchen, how you doing? I'm over here, come on, have a seat with me and Rob, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there having a conversation with the Golden Girls, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can still be myself, you know what I'm saying? I can still talk, you know what I'm saying? And that just show like, man, we getting somewhere.
Yes.
Because growing up, in Vallejo, we never would have, seen nothing like that or whatever. So I think that us being out there doing what we doing is kind of bringing us together, as a community, and we kind of just been trying a lot to get our kids on the front lines too.
Yes, I noticed that. So like I said, I follow their page. I definitely see the youngsters that are involved. That is amazing. That is great. How do you guys get them involved? What is their part in the whole bit?
Well, Fam Kids was created to allow the children to express themselves. They see what's going on.
Yeah.
They don't fully understand everything, but they know what's going on, or is that they are killing us, and it is wrong, and they want to do something about it.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is creating a situation where children can come and we can kind of see what their needs are. You know what I mean?
It's scary for them too.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is, but it also empowers them. You know what I mean? It empowers them. They see, you know, themselves and their buddies, and they're walking hand in hand and seeing they're doing the things that we're doing, and it makes them feel good, and it makes them confident in knowing, hey, they're standing on the right side of this fight.
Right. Between the fam members, we got a ton of kids. So all our kids is always out there. And, you know, they just want to be a part of it, too. So we just training them. They're going to be the ones that carry this torch. You know what I'm saying? So we just getting them prepared. They the last event we had with the kids, they actually came out with prepared speeches. They all spoke well. They received stipends. We gave them the little gift cards and stuff for their speech. The newspaper was out there. Willie Bo nephew and a lot of other kids was like front page with it. So we got to give them a moment to remember. You know what I mean? Forever. That's something that's gonna stick with them forever. And you know, it feels good to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely, and encourage them, like you were saying, empower them to take the next step. That is great. That is really great. Now, what are some of the approaches and methods that you use that you found have worked? Whether you guys do protesting, right? And I can imagine, you know, we got the peaceful protests and we have the protests that go the opposite way. What methods do you find that works for you guys to get your point across?
So for me, my message, the way I go about it is I'm myself. You know, I would have loved to be able to yell and scream and just, you know, just give them everything that they deserve for all the horror that they have placed upon my family. But at the same time, I know that a lot of people won't listen if I do that. So I had to practice a lot of restraint, you know what I mean, and my emotions, and as far as my anger, the righteous anger, I had to practice not exhibiting that the way I had a right to do so, but I knew that it would impede, you know, my effort at getting people's attention, people who do not know about police brutality, because if it doesn't exist to them, then it's not real. And, you know, I just want to be able to get their attention, you know, so they stop long enough and listen and just consider the fact that, hey, what we are saying is true, you know, because a lot of people dismiss it, and they dismiss it and they say, oh, well, they were yelling and screaming and cursing and this and that. So, you know, it's times that I really wanted to yell and scream and curse, and I should have been able to. But my brother, you know, he was so important to me that none of that is important to me. What's important to me is getting justice for him. So I can put those feelings, you know, inside and express it in a different way, but that's not the truth for everybody. You know what I mean? And, you know, to each his own, because we have a right to express ourselves, especially when we've been wronged in such horrible ways.
I feel every bit of that. Every bit of that. I haven't necessarily lost someone in that fashion, but I have lost someone, and I feel the rage and the anger, and I've went off and I've exploded online at people every which way, and I got the right to, but it doesn't really get the job done. You know? So I commend you for doing that and stepping up and putting that to the side, knowing that we got a goal, we got a purpose, and we're going to get justice. So,
and just to put this out there, too, all of our protests, they start off peaceful. They all intended to be peaceful protests. We don't go out planning to have no protests where we go tearing shit up or just out there just trying to start problems. But at the same time, you know, we believe strong in what we stand on, and, you know, if it come down to it, you know, we go do what we got to do.
And we believe that buildings can be replaced, but human lives cannot. And when they try to put more attention on these buildings and this property as opposed to human life, we got a problem with that. You know, so.
Makes sense. Now, what are some of the problems that you guys have faced within the movement? I know this is new to you, and I know you're learning a lot along this. I hear you vent from time to, I read you venting from time to time, and I'm like, man, I can only imagine. What are just a tidbit of what you guys experienced on this journey?
Man, a whole lot. But I'm going to just speak to this, though, right now. For me right now, it's just a matter of, you know, I'm fresh into it. I'm full of energy. I'm full of fight, you know, and I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm full pedal to the metal, trying to do as much as I can and trying to hook up everybody that want to reach out to me. I'm ready to hook up. I can't tell nobody no when they're ready to, you know what I'm saying? And like Chris always tell me, you know, the wheels of justice, they turn slow. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the work ain't always out in the streets. It's on getting your paperwork together, getting your strategies right,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So for me, it's just a matter of keeping the balance and trying to keep us to where our focus is on, what it's supposed to be, which is getting justice for our loved ones and stuff like that, and not getting sidetracked and took too far off from that. And I just try to be aware of that and keep balance. I got kids myself too, so doing all this work and trying to balance the life is just a balance thing for me.
For sure. Is there anything you'd like to add, Chris?
I think one of the biggest obstacles is trying to deal with the dysfunction that the loss of our family members have created for our families.
Oh, yeah.
And so there is a bigger, it's a bigger need. They need therapy, they need support, we need all these type of things, but nobody told us how to do it. So we're just winging it and just trying to do the best for each other. But that, I think, is really the biggest problem that we have in fighting this fight is you can't take something that's so abnormal and try to make it seem like it was normal and just go on about your life and function.
Right.
So
I can totally see that, because I know, family, they all have their ways that they want to go about it,
Right.
and sometimes they don't understand when you trying to be peaceful and calm, and they ready to go off, and they like ain't going off, and so I feel it, and it gets you frustrated and all, but then you, like you said, you had to learn the restraint and all of that. So I can totally understand that. Like you said, need therapy and all of that deal with that, and they like, how are you being so strong? How are you being so calm? But you like, look, I gotta go. I got a mission. I got something I'm trying to do. I can't just sit here and cry and be mad.
Right.
I gotta go for it. So I could understand that.
And sometimes you might be that last screw that's holding the table.
Yeah.
Up. You fall off, everything falls off.
Exactly.
So.
Yep.
And we literally became a real family. We fight. We don't always agree on stuff, and you know what I'm saying. We get mad at each other, cuss each other out, and all that. You know what I'm saying. But ultimately, you know what I'm saying, we developed a real genuine love for each other, and we took on each other's fights. Everybody's fight is personal, you know what I'm saying, even though with everything going on with Eric, I'm not done until we get justice for all of my brothers, you know what I'm saying, so it is what it is.
We're going to talk about that as well, but I do want to ask you guys this question. How do you feel about the protests? There's been several protests to defund Vallejo's police department. What's your thoughts there? Any pros and cons on that?
I think that anytime you have a city that is dedicating half of its budget to the police department, there is a big problem with that. That means that we can't fund the basic necessities that people need, for life within the city, because it's going to the police department. And they can sit up all day and say, well, it's based upon it being comparable to other cities. Well, other cities probably have more revenue, more money, so they can afford to spend that amount to pay their officers and various things like that. But that's not the case with Vallejo. And Vallejo needs to live within his means. And 50% of the budget going to the police department is not okay.
Exactly.
Especially when we don't got no schools. Schools is closing down. We don't have no programs. I always say, like, when we was growing up, we had the Ninnels.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We could go do a 6th grade dance or go to a party. We had the PIC program.
Exactly.
In the summertime, we could go keep a few dollars in our pocket. We had a little something. You know what I'm saying? Now they just stripped all of that from them and put more guns in their hands and more dope to do. You know what I'm saying? So they basically creating the crime, because crime pays, and that's just the reason why they
and y'all have
keep
baseball
that money.
and everything.
All
everything.
All of
that. And it's none of that is so sad. And the
gone.
Homelessness is like at an all-time high.
Everything
People need
is
therapy and support. You got all these people that's just distraught and a mess, and it's just keeping the cycle going.
And when you see all these homeless people out there, right? The fact of the matter is, if a teacher failed a whole class, you can't turn around and say it's those kids in the class. It's that teacher.
Yeah.
And when you see the amount of homelessness that we see, it is not, it is not these people. There is something wrong with this, period.
Yep. I totally agree with you. Now, we're going to get into your cousin, Eric Reason. I want to know, if any, what role did FAM play in the Richmond Police Commission? They found Sergeant Thomas guilty of excessive force of Eric Reason. Was there any part that you guys played in this? And it's a Pat question. Do you feel, because I don't know of those of you guys that know that he's deceased due to complications with COVID or whatever, do you feel that the reason that they found him guilty was because he's no longer with us? Do you think that would have been a little different?
I think that helped. And I think the fact that he's a black man helped too. You know, if it was a white officer, it probably would have went different. I do believe that. And I don't, fam, we directly, you know, I'm not gonna speak on some of the things that we did in that, you know, to get help in that matter. But I will say that it got to a point where the police department was actually about to throw his case out because nobody from the family came up to file anything or followed up with Richmond about the case.
Yeah.
Now, nobody that
Let
I
me
know
make sure
of,
I understand.
yes,
The family, as in your family?
as in our family.
Uh-huh.
Now, the reason being now is because the attorneys and everybody that was actually representing us, they wasn't properly consulting us. There's like there's a time limit that you have after the time of the death to file certain paperwork and do things. It's a process and it's a procedure that, you know, we don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, and when you got attorneys and stuff like that, you imagine that they go walk you step by step through that. And me myself, I kind of stayed out of that and kind of, you know, let my uncle and them deal with that. And it got to a point where, like I said, they was gonna throw the case out because nobody from the family came and stepped in.
Lord.
So the Richmond Police Commission actually came in and overturned that judgment, and they continued the investigation. And I will say this, that the work that fam is doing and the attention that we getting just, you know, out there, and people know what families was represented by us, they knew that the family cared because they see how hard, you know, we fighting for each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that had to play a role, and I actually know it played a role in it to a degree, but I just can't speak on the details. Though.
Right, I understand. Well, I'm glad that justice was served, but at the end of the day, he is having to face God.
That
you
part,
know,
that
so
part. And I'm glad he had to face God and didn't have to face me or none of my uncles or nothing.
Well,
you know, we could get that off our back.
Right. Well, he got to face God. I don't know how good that's, you know, going. I can't judge the next man, surely, but I'm just saying his karma definitely came very quickly. So, as far as I noticed with Hakeem Brown's, he has a move which is called the Independent Oversight. It's called with Nicole. You guys familiar with that? Basically, it's a civilian oversight of law enforcement, and it's basically giving the people the ability to oversee the police department when it comes to the hiring, the firing, the investigation. This is something that I had read was proposed, and it had went up to be voted on. You heard about that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Krista, well,
yeah, speak on it. Fill me in.
She be a little more on the details with stuff. I don't quote me word for word, but I will say this much: I know that they were supposed to be starting up some kind of oversight committee, but it was all handpicked by the police, by the chief of police.
Of who would be on the oversight?
Or who would be on the oversight committee. So all of the people that they were going to have in that committee were going to be basically handpicked by the same people that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, that don't make
so
no
that was
sense.
a conflict of interest right there.
Right.
So, and that's all I know where that left off at. And we kind of still looking into that and trying to get more details. But I know whatever they doing with that is some bullshit.
Which I find quite interesting because I actually found some of this information on your webpage, on FAM's Facebook page. And I had seen Hakeem Brown actually on your page, which I find quite interesting that he didn't sit down with you guys, but I noticed that he's on your page and he is, you know, putting his stuff there. So.
Oh, you noticed him on the page?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen? No. Oh.
He was for a while, not anymore.
Okay, so he's no longer. Well, honey, I just seen it.
Shout out to Diamond and Prince from the podcast. You know what I'm talking about? They be on tomorrow.
I actually listened to him speak. I guess he was trying to do a discussion about, you know, how the people felt about it, but it was on the fans page. So.
Oh yeah, I know he commented and responded to a couple people on there, but I never seen him actually just directly put a post on there or nothing like that though. But he responded and, you know, went back and forth with some people at the beginning. But after a while, he just kind of fell back, and now he got, you know, some of his supporters and his goons is out there smashing for him now.
So what do you guys think about the reform that they are proposing?
Which reform? I'm sorry.
Look, she like, yeah, whatever. So the oversight committee, so my understanding is it's supposed to be some kind of hybrid version of the oversight committee, which will include drug testing of some sort, which I thought that drug testing would be part of a police anyway. Right. But I guess they have who they want, pick and choose who they will drug test or whatever. But supposedly what he's put out there will include that and include having civilian oversight.
Same monster, different costume. Been there, done that.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it. What are your thoughts on what the reform should look like? Let me ask that.
You know, this is a city that is so embedded in corruption and so many other awful things that as many hours that I sat at City Hall and listened and waited and thought we were going to get something, I just, I don't even waste my time because I know that the only thing that they're going to do is going to be when they're forced to do it.
Yeah.
And they know that the time is coming. So, right now they're just trying to do things to try to appease people and we're doing something, but I don't believe in the legitimacy of it. I don't believe it's coming from a good place. And I don't believe that, most of the leaders that are sitting there, that they care about the people of Vallejo or the safety of Vallejo. And so I really don't even waste my time with it because I don't believe it's in good faith.
Yeah, for me, it's so the police department is so corrupt. To me, it's beyond like a simple reform. They just need to straight up clean house, start firing some motherfuckers. Excuse me, my language.
All right.
They need to start firing some motherfuckers, hold some motherfuckers accountable,
police department.
and and show that they really care about the city. As long as they keep on, some of these people that's pulling us over getting us tickets could be Fatal 14 members. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So. That got multiple bodies on bodies. And then they go and bend their badges and have barbecues to commemorate the kills. You know what I'm saying? It's straight like ritual killings. You know what I'm saying?
Now, let's pause for a moment because I have some shocked eyes in the building, and I did want to talk about that. So I know you guys have a campaign about the Fatal 14, which is now the 13.
Yeah.
Kind of want to really take a moment to just slowly talk about that, what you guys are doing in that movement, and the bending badges thing. This is the second time we done circled around exactly what is bending badges. I know my station manager like, what in the hell? So what is that? And who brought that to the surface? Do you guys know?
Yeah, we actually just interviewed Jeff King, who is the founder of Open Vallejo, nonprofit organization, and he's like really connected with a lot of, big people, in politics and in the media and stuff like that. They pretty much been, exposing and pulling the sheets off of the Vallejo Police Department. And Jeff King and them, they're the ones, I guess they had a whistleblower, somebody that was working in the force, that kind of brought them the story. And it's been actually confirmed that the Mayor Bobson Pine knew about this. And city manager knew about this for a couple years and never addressed it or anything. So it's actually a real story. They were bending the corners of their badges every time they killed somebody.
So it was a law enforcement officer who it was brought to his attention, and then when he complained about it or tried to bring it up, he eventually ended up being fired. Which he did in turn file a lawsuit, which I believe is now open and going. But city leaders knew about the stuff.
Yeah, this is
so
this is factual information.
We're having funerals and memorials and memorials, and they're having barbecues.
Yeah, they was having barbecues and everything after they, caught a kill. And it's some pictures on there floating around with some of the officers where you actually can see them with their bent badge on.
Oh, my Lord. Oh. I understand where you're coming from, Chris. Like, yeah, see, it's just reform. You fire the whole department and everything associated with and start from scratch. Hey, you can't reform that.
Nah, you can't reform
that.
You
can't get, oh my Lord, that is sad. That is horrible. And I do want to give a shout out and speak to Sean Monterosa. I see you have it on your beanie.
No, this right here is Petey Perez right here.
Petey Perez?
This is
from Richmond.
He was killed by Richmond police in Richmond, California, in front of a liquor store, unarmed, same old thing. And his family is real close with fam. They've been riding with the families from day one. They support us real tough, and we just adopted them into the fam. So this is Petey right here.
I done took a glance. I thought it was Sean. Lord have mercy on the fan out about somebody else.
Yeah, he was at a liquor store, and he had been drinking a little bit. Was a little bit drinking a little bit, and the police came to him and basically murdered him. basically killed him. You know, and my family was one of the first families that went out there to reach out to them because we understood how it felt to have your loved one murdered, and it's like you against the world. Suddenly now you got this shame. Everybody's like, well, they did it because they were supposed to, you know, and that's just not the case.
True. Yeah,
Right.
it's not always true.
His family has been fighting and standing and, you know, not taking no shit and no shorts either. Excuse my French. But yeah, so
and I got special love for him
Rest in
because of
peace,
the Richmond thing. You know what I'm saying? Both Richmond police was responsible for both our, you know, killings. So he helped me out with a lot of information and what was going on in Richmond. So we had developed a cool relationship.
Well,
so yeah, that's Petey.
Send him much
to Rick.
love. Yes, definitely. I'm so sorry to hear that because I didn't hear about his story. So much love to the family. Rest in peace to Petey Perez.
Yeah, Petey Perez.
But Sean Monterosa, so the sisters, I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's been in the news, were arrested for protesting after going to Gavin Newsom's home because they've been reaching out, trying to get support and get help about this peaceful protest. He actually was killed at a peaceful protest by the police. And so the girls, are they still in jail? I know you were going up to visit them.
They out now, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we went up there. We knew they was getting out. We just went up there to hold them down, make sure they got out and they was cool and everything. But yeah, they out now and they still in good spirits. And I think it just made them a little bit, even put a little more fire under them, to tell the truth.
I bet. Absolutely. And this was another
love to the
police
Monterosa
officer.
sisters. Them is the man. We all like real fam. I love them, man.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, you know, really a shame to see, you know, them, you know, they reminded me of me and my sisters, you know, 8 years ago, you know, but it was a shame to see them being put in handcuffs and, you know, being held overnight and just treated, you know, really cruelly.
Right.
Because they are just standing up, you know, against murder, you know, but that's what they do, you know.
And also about Sean Monterosa, you know, like I said, it wasn't always a lot of attention in Vallejo, and Chris and her family, they brought a lot of attention to Vallejo and stuff like that, and stuff started to die down. And I think that when that happened to Sean, being that he's from San Francisco and stuff like that, that kind of, you know, that they get a lot of attention, and that brought a lot of attention to Vallejo again.
Right.
And because the Monterosa's sisters, they got so much love for us, and they make sure they keep us included in everything. That you know, brings outside attention, you know, help bring more attention to Vallejo that we wasn't really getting at first.
Right. And that's so crazy. So from my understanding, they believe that the police officer explanation is that they thought that he had a hammer, and the hammer was literally a hammer.
Right.
They thought it was.
And that's all a made up lie. They didn't think it was a
all
hammer.
The time.
They didn't think it was a hammer. They shot first. That's what they do. They shoot first, and they make up
with
stories
some
later.
shit
And then he shot with
because even the police chief had a different story. He said that he saw what happened. Then he went back and changed it. So you know what I mean? They didn't think that they was in any danger. You know, anytime you that cool, you in the backseat of a truck and you just shoot a gun.
Yeah, right. He shot from the back seat of the car
and the two people
with an AR-15 through the windshield.
Come on now.
Across cops that's sitting in front of him and everything.
Right. It's like, it's kill season.
And
it's
then,
like hunting season. Like, that literally sounds like hunting.
And they got rid of the windshield before it could get investigated or whatever. So they got rid of the evidence too. So they destroyed that evidence. So they couldn't even properly, you know, investigate and look into the main source of the evidence.
Right. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's just out of control. I want to again thank all our viewers for listening to us on the Queen's Table. This is your girl Jaja. Yes. I have fam in the building. I have the General Rod Reason.
Fam business.
Yes, I have El Presidente Chris. They are sitting in and they are giving us the 411 on FAM, Frontline Activist Movement. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I want to thank everybody who's listening to us on hype-radio.com. We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned in. We got a few more questions that we're going to go over, and they're also going to be able to give you their information. So if you want to support and become part of the movement, we're going to make sure we drop that information for you, okay? Now, I know that there were just a couple of other things that went on. I was actually at a bar when I seen it come up on the news about the chief firing, I never say his name right. Is it McMahon?
Yeah.
For the killings of Willie McCoy and Ronell Foster.
Right. Rest in peace, Cat Daddy.
Yes, rest in peace, Cat Daddy. Know them both very well as well. So I just was like, I was stuck on stupid at the bar. I was like, okay, this is great. But I'm like, wow, at the same time, like, what? as you were saying, the spotlight is on us, so they're trying to do something just to appease the people, you know. But it's so many more. What is it? So many 13 more that still need to get taken care of. What were your thoughts when you guys heard about this and when you seen it on the news?
Well, I just knew that their hands were forced, and they don't have no choice. And what's coming from them, they're not gonna have no choice either. So they're just trying to get it together while they can, as much as they can. You know, even if the chief, he inherited, you know, a big pile of, you know what. Yeah. But, you know, if he don't do right, he's going to be right along in that pile as well, you know.
Yeah.
And nonetheless, as much as I, you know, don't feel that it was a genuine effort, I'm still happy that the motherfucker gone, that the motherfucker got fired.
Right.
Get your motherfucking ass on the streets, and I hope somebody get on your ass.
Well,
the way that you got on Cat Daddy and them.
Right. Well, you know, karma, what goes up must come down. It's just it's a circle. So I do believe in that. I believe in justice first and foremost, but I also know at the end of the day, in some cases, justice is not served. I don't mean to circle back to what I've been through, but I lost my father is an unsolved murder.
Wow.
My brother, I got several cousins that are, you know, it wasn't the police, it was my own kind.
Yeah, but when it's unjustified, though, it's...
Yeah, it hurts. So I just, at that point, I have to believe karma, you know, God will do that justice, you know. Right. So I do want to just say rest in peace to those that we have lost. Eric Reason, Willie McCoy, Ronell Foster, Sean Monterosa, Mario Romero, Angel Ramos. And that's just to name a small few. There's so many more.
Anton Derrick, Marshall Tobin.
Call them out.
And I want to say rest in peace to my other brother, Malik Mitchell, who was murdered in the city of Vallejo in 2017 because the police put false charges on him. He could not leave, go out of the state until he was murdered, you know, and so that was something else. They told him, hey, we're going to get you. And even though they didn't do it directly, you know, my mom had 2 sons, 6 daughters. Both of her sons were murdered within 5 years. You know, and so, you know, it's real difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Rest in peace to Malik, and shout out to Cindy A plus Cinquita, Unlock Key, Unlock Shady, all them. Shout out.
Yes. We're going to kind of wrap it up here, but I do want to allow the opportunity just so the young people, we talked about the young people getting involved. What are some ways that young people can take effective action to change in the community? What are some suggestions? I know you guys are working with the youth of FAM. What do you guys suggest?
Me, myself, I think that starts with the parenting. You know what I'm saying? You got to be... Like with my kids, they stuck on the Xbox. Well, my sons and stuff, they want to be on the PlayStation. They don't want to leave the house half the time or whatever. But I have to get in the mind frame like my grandmother and them was. You spend the night over there on the weekend, you going to church. I don't care if you want to go or not. You going. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to just let them all the time just sit at home and do what they want to do, you know what I mean? And they go to do what they want to do, and there ain't nothing positive or constructive coming out of that. So I don't make them go to everything, but if I know it's something that they need to be a part of or whatever, I'll make them go. Yes. And when they get out there, they actually feel good that they went. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, first of all, the parents got to encourage their kids to, you know, go out there and be an example to the kids, and that go a long way in itself.
Absolutely. How about you, Chris? Any thoughts?
I think that the young people should understand that, you know, they have the power. You know, they have the power, and they can do anything that they put their minds to. And don't be discouraged by the things that you're seeing. You know what I mean? Just if you want to make a change, you can make a change. You know, there are people out here who will help you. You know, if you need somebody to guide you or, you know, help you out with some things, you know, but don't give up and don't despair, you know. Have faith, and if you want to make a change, you can.
Right, and stop listening to these rappers and all, you know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what they doing. If you listen to some of these kids now in the streets and them talking and what they doing, they talk just like a rap song. And the rap songs right now is just straight ignorance. I ain't gonna lie. They just talking about how many people they killed, how many of their friends, girlfriends they got, who, you know, how much money they got, whatever. And that's just poisoning the kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no real content out there. And
Right.
I think that, you know, we get a chance to show the kids that being activists is cool too.
Yes.
It's cool to stand up for something. It's cool to make change. It's cool to, you know, not taking no shorts. You know what I'm saying?
It's cool to save lives instead of taking lives.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that when kids come out with us, they naturally see that, you know, they mind start to change. Cause like with me, when I got into this, like I ain't bought myself a pair of shoes since Corona started. Mm-hmm. And I, you know, I had to trip on that to myself because I wouldn't go too long without, you know, having to put a fresh pair on my feet.
Right.
So I had to think to myself, like, man, like my whole mind like changed since I got in this fight and all that. Some of those little things ain't even important to me no more.
Right.
As long as I can do what I'm doing, I'm happy.
And I have to say, I've known him since grade school, literally class together. I've known him since we was little. Our parents, family know each other. So I'm so proud of you, and I told you that. I'm going to tell you to your face, to give you flowers while you're here. I've seen the growth. I've seen it change. He was a comedian in school. You know what I'm saying? Then he was the rapper. He did music. He loved music so much, from making beats to rapping. Yep. I've seen the whole transformation of with your kids. I've seen, and I'm just proud that you have just changed up and showed a different way, because you was rapping about all that stuff too.
Yeah, I was.
You living that life too.
And that was the part though that killed me, because I used to actually I wanted to rap with a message. Mm-hmm. And I used to have, you know, like they daddy and everybody else. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Nobody want to hear that preaching shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I used to try to please both sides. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So naturally, you know, that's why I'm happy what I'm doing, because now I could actually put the message out there without trying to make it sound cool or fit in a certain bar. You know what I'm saying? It feel great.
Yes.
Feels great.
Yes. So what's next for fam? What can we expect next? What's coming up? Let us know.
I think most importantly is going to be, you know, the district attorney action that we're going to be demanding. It's going to be real specific.
Okay, speak up. I want to hear this. The people hear this.
It's going to be real specific. You know, we believe that all of our grievances are valid as far as the loss of life in Vallejo due to, you know, officers killing people. And we feel like the district attorney should, you know, use a special set of eyes in investigating, you know, these murders, because that's what they are. And we believe, you know, that the previous district attorney did a lot of illegal things, suppressed a lot of things, and made the files very untrue. And so, you know, that's really what we're looking forward to as far as direct action. You know, that's what we're doing.
Okay, and when will this take place? Do we have a date?
After the election.
After everything is after the election, after the kids stop playing.
But they could most definitely be looking forward to seeing us, you know, doing what we're doing, whether it's online or whatever. You know, that's the main thing about fam. We gonna stay around. Like ain't nobody safe. You know what I'm saying? If it's something going on and we gonna be there to expose it, we gonna speak on it. And, you know, we go keep the people informed about all the bullshit that's going on. You know, we go continue to be a voice for the streets of Vallejo.
That's right. That's right. Now, I want to take this opportunity again to thank all of our viewers for tuning in to the Queens Table on hype-radio.com. Tonight, we have fam in the building, General Rob Reason, and we have El Presidente Chris. They gave us the T, the 411, on the activist movement, the frontline activist movement that's going down in Vallejo in the Bay Area. So if you want to support or join, I'm going to go ahead and let them plug so you guys can know exactly how to do so.
We got on Facebook, that's where we mainly popping. You can get at us on our group page, which is F.A.M. And then we have the Frontline Activist Movement, the Facebook, like the website page or whatever, but it's Frontline Activist Movement. On IG, it's Frontline Activist Movement. If you want to contact me personally, you know what? I was about to say that's the rapper coming out in me wanting to promote everything. I actually don't want to be contacted personally. You can hit us up through FAM, and just hit us up. The email f.a.m.1sto20 at Gmail, and somebody from FAM will get back to you and give you all the information and details you need to get involved.
Okay, great. In closing, is there anything else that either of you like to add?
Yeah, we just like to thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Very pleasure.
Ja is dope, and let me just like she
Thank you.
seen my growth, I seen her growth, and she is turning into an extraordinary journalist, like
Thank you.
on some real Tyra Banks show, Wendy Williams, you know what I'm saying? Like she got that kind of energy, man. So y'all stop sleeping on Ja, man, and help get her out there, cause somebody go put her on. All you know what I'm saying? But I love what she doing. She got good support here, and is very comfortable in here at Hype Radio.
Real nice.
Hype Radio, man, y'all the business. I've been watching y'all, and
Awesome.
y'all holding it down for Sac. Sac is a second home for me, so love the Hype Radio and the Queens table.
For sure, for sure. Thank you guys for coming on. I want to let you guys know, just lastly, next week I have Rook. Rook is a producer from Sacramento. He's coming to the Queens table. He's going to let us know what's up, what's going on underground. If you don't know who Rook is, he's known for making beats for Mr. Fab, Jay Stalin, Stunner Girl, Sally Rue, Young Gully. So make sure that you are tuned in, and make sure you vote. 25 days are left to vote, you know, before that day comes. So make sure that you are voting. Voting is very necessary. It is your right. Don't be confused or misled to think that your vote doesn't count.
And just don't go vote for somebody just on Facebook. Don't go vote for the black man because he's black.
Right.
Go and find out what that black man stands for.
Do the research, y'all.
And
The
find out about all of them.
Find out about all of them. The debates, like I said, the kids is playing. The debates is crazy. It's a mess. The fly on Penn's head, just everything got you so confused and it's convoluted. Do the research, you guys. But make sure that you vote, okay? Make sure you understand the rules and the policies and what they're about. That's it. I'm off of my. I'm off. I'm done. I'm through. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.
And
all right.
I got a shirt for you. I left it in the car. I wanted to give it to you on the air, but I'll give it to you.
Awesome.
Fan business.
Yes. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Ooh wee. Now that felt like a real.